part of the day. If during the morning we all shared our good practices, our very nice projects that we have already implemented or we are working on, now is the moment that we work together. This is the part of the workshop. We have the chance to have Professor Marco Morandotti and Professor Elisabetta Doria helping us with the organization of this workshop focused on defining shared guidelines for the innovative inclusion of digitization methodology in policy instruments and or the launch of the drafting of the guidelines that we have to propose and to have in our project. So this must be some interactive work. So if in the morning we all listen to only one presenter, now Professor Morandotti will just launch the ideas, would just guide us a little bit, but it's time to play together as he mentioned. So all of you are invited to have the floor and to give ideas and to, if you wish, to complete the forms that will be circulated and to try to work together on this new guidelines. Thank you, Professor Morandotti. Thank you, Elisabetta Doria, for guiding us on this activity. And for everyone here, please feel free to share with us your ideas, your proposals, and your opinions. Thank you so much. When we'll have people speaking from the audience, we have this mobile microphone, so you just show your hand and you'll receive the microphone. So, but now for the moment, Professor Morandotti, you have the floor. Yeah. I hope it's okay for the guys filming. Professor would like to speak from there, it's okay?
Yeah, I think it works. Okay, so it's time to play together right now. The way in which we have imagined to manage this time that we have in the scheduled program is trying to stimulate a kind of shared work on a cooperative basis, as we usually say, dealing with one of the main topics of the CHARME project at all. So starting to thinking together on a much more concrete and operational side, how we usually practice in our institutional or research activities with the topic of digitization, what we see as a criticality or as an opportunity. I think that hopefully the result of this joint work will be really helpful for us in our work in the next month in order to start building up a shared document that we can upgrade and modify till the end of the research of the project, and that in the end of the project should also include a kind of shared tool or approach or protocol or procedure or something else. What we have done since now, and that you already have because has been shared in the previous reports, is a kind of mapping of the best practice that every municipality have selected. Many of them we have seen also this morning. We know that they are very different in terms of products, because there are websites, serious game, GIS tools, and so on, GIS map, 3D model. And they are also different for the purpose for which they are built up. Historic knowledge, social inclusion, tourism, and so on. And if we look altogether to all these activities, we obtain a kind of map, conceptual map, which is really intricate because there are really huge amount of overlapping of activities, and I think that this is something positive, because what we can see after the first semester of work is by sure the fact that even if every country has its own regulation and every municipality its own approach, history and project and visions, there are in real words a kind of shared space in which these activities can be focused. So to have an operational way, we have decided to propose you an approach of a little, it's in between a focus group, if we can speak with serious approach of economic studies, or otherwise a Club Mediterranean village in which there is an animation. But anyway, the point is that we have included in the program, so all you have, a kind of draft of points that we suggest to base a discussion on. Are included in the program. So the first point is digitalization as a lever for sustainability and inclusion, or the second is related to young people, youth communities and risk, engaging without oversimplifying. That is another topic quite interesting, because of course we can aim to be popular, and that's fine, but which is the level of information that we will transfer, or not the level, but the level of accuracy of what we are going to tell. Then we try to stimulate the debate also with some questions that are open to everybody, and we are going to ask you also some answer is possible, and we would like to collect them and then to discuss together. So to do so, with a really scientific methodology, we have printed a lot of A3 piece of paper, in which for every paper are selected exactly the same questions that are in the program. So I'm not asking you if you have done your homework, of course, but we are still thinking together about that. So what we ask you is to take a few minutes to write down on this paper what do you think about these topics. You are not obliged to fill up all the point. There are no physical punishment if it is not completed, so feel free about that, but just consider it as a contribution to a discussion. And then we can also open, let's say, the microphone to discuss together, but base it in on some written words that may be useful also for you to focusing on that point. We also have provided, because if we play series, pens, because we are thinking, and post-it, so you can have whatever you wish. I think that by sure we have a cluster of paper, at least one for each municipality. So you can work together in a team of municipalities. We only have to decide how many minutes give them. Any suggestion? 10 minutes? 10 minutes maybe. No, quicker is better. Because otherwise it's overthinking, and then we can collect them and start discussing. I think that's okay, so we can distribute it and have some time to think, write, and then discuss. There is also in the module that you will receive a kind of matrix based not exactly as a SWOT analysis, but in terms of youth and communities, focusing so on the whole communities or young people, and opportunities and risk, in which you can, if you wish, take some free notes about this. So we can distribute them. Li diamo uno per municipalità, sì. Questa è una buona idea. This is a good idea. No, some music, I think it's fine in these empty spaces, so why not? Of course, when you will receive it, take your time, make any question. We are not back to the university, so, but it was a kind of way, it's an experiment, to stimulate early cooperation at a very early stage. And then within the amount of time that we have, we can discuss together, because my hope is that in the next weeks we can work on this result and transform in a much more organized, let's say, chart of flow mapping and start to think about some shared idea. Okay? Devo aiutarti?
four, unfortunately. You can take one of these. There are the different topic of the best practices.
Okay.
And okay, I think these two are the most important. No, this the main one. Okay.
Everything.
some ways, in some ways. Io ho rispiegato un pochino che il concetto è di policy sì. Che possiamo arrivare con
sì.
delle guideline.
Io qui sul primo, che era il sign principle,
Sì.
gli ho detto che ognuno poteva scegliersi il principio che riteneva
perché
più
quello che
importante,
per loro è
che era
più
bianco
importante.
proprio perché era la keyword che loro volevano.
Perché così capiamo cosa loro possono davvero provare a modificare. Cioè io ho provato a dirvi questo, cioè provate a rispondere con le cose che sapete in cui voi potete avere un'azione. Io non so, mi fanno queste linee, cioè mica possiamo dire ok, le linee guida tutte dovete fare i modelli che sono un po' differenti. E poi vediamo un pochino.
Quanto tempo gli diamo?
Secondo me è lungo in realtà.
Il programma, quanto... Questa roba qua? Allora, finiamoci.
Vedi che sta andando, cioè hanno risposto alla prima domanda in 4 cose, quindi forse siamo stati presosi, però... Cioè,
Hanno due.
Controllo sono qua. Dalle 15 alle 17 closing session. Sono già le 4.
Allora, io faccio le 3:40, io vi lascerei andare fino alle 4, così teniamo la seconda ora per raccogliere le idee e ragionarci. Sì. Vado a negoziarlo con la capa.
Ah, ok, perché non andava...
No, non avevamo... Non sapendo... these are that every partner, every municipality had to choose at the beginning of the project some example to show, no? Things that everybody has
already
done.
have.
So for instance, in IASH, there was 3 projects, and then we classified every project, for instance, memory IASH is memory path, Princely Court, art code, and so on. And so we checked according to the description of every partner what was exactly on that. So 3D model devoted to tourism, based on a website and so on. And this is in the end what we had. So there are some 3D rigid models, someone has a free app, someone video, and so on. So you see that there is a huge amount of different things, and this is more or less what they are combined. So for instance, Yashi has, for instance, I don't know, there are not in order because they are scheduling.
Yashi has virtual reality.
Virtual reality. Then there is
video and
here
film
this
video.
Yashi. This example that is I2, which is one of that, is focused on a free app, give a free video and so on. And this map can seem quite chaotic, but demonstrate how overlapping are the researches and how
The realization is
yes,
very much different.
and it is transversal, no? It's not vertical, but it is an horizontal process. And this is interesting because what now we have to do is, starting from their own experience, try to suggest some ideas to a shared approach to using of the digitalization for cultural heritage.
Digitalization that is common to all the partners in the project.
But we intend several different things when we speak about digitalization.
Yes, but there's a lot of common aspects.
Yeah.
So maybe there's common.
It's kind of reverse engineering process.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We will see.
other ones. We just did the two. And the other ones. We continue.
Yeah, I think that.
Sorry. Okay. Quindi magari non siamo seduti tutti allo stesso tavolo, però di avere in mente che sarà una cosa.
Che quelle essendo poste, cioè essendo come dire, a numero più ristretto siano
Su 10 scritto mi sono un po'. È per quello che mi è venuto il dubbio adesso. Perché invece da altre volte quando c'era la giornata workshop era
e una volta eravamo nella salettina sì, perché si incasinano con le non mi ricordo che quando sono the afternoon. Sì.
Okay, so I think that giving a look to the time, it's time to close this part of this activity. Thank you for your efforts. I have seen many people thinking and speaking, and so I think it's a good starting point. I think that we can now quickly summarize or show at least the result of this first stage of work. I think that every municipality can come here together, or at least one representative with whatever, to summarize the result of this first stage of work. So this could be a moment in which we share each together our thoughts and may stimulate a kind of roundtable or a debate. I think that 5 minutes to present each idea should be fine, otherwise it takes too much time. And in this way we can present, ask a municipality to come here and present the result, and then have a time for, if there are any comments of question of the other people, to have a quick debate on each of that. And then we can try to fill in the end of the afternoon. I remember all that we have to finish and to close at 5 p.m. sharp. And so we have 45 minutes since this moment to try to make some early stage conclusion. Okay, so the microphone, the stage is free, so if someone wish to start, it's remember me too much to stay in a classroom, so I am not here to make any exam. So if there is someone that wish to break the ice and come here to tell all us what is the result of this time, please welcome here. Not all together. Okay. May I ask here the local team? You know that is something is going. Yeah. Of course, if you prefer to speak from...
No, it's okay. But I must mention that we have been a team working, sharing ideas, so it's not, let's say, like a very structured information. We just put some ideas. We thought that the principle which is applying for the thematic session 1, digitalization as a lever for sustainability and inclusion, it's principle number 2, accessibility and the inclusivity of the digital tools and so on. And well, we had some ideas. It will need some work from the University of Pavia to put in order all the things that we thought. And in any case, we think that the principle that what does the principle mean in our context city? In fact, is the access of all the categories of the people to the digital and the cultural goods, and also the need for creating open database. And so, if we speak about concrete actions or policies to support it, we identify some concrete steps talking about this open data database, like we saw in Turku, to create intergeneration projects in education, virtual tours in museums that already exist, and this create accessibility and sustainability. So this is a thing that we wish to continue to develop. And we also spoke about raising awareness on these digital tools and the use on the cultural purposes, on cultural heritage. While talking about obstacles, we identified some obstacles at the social level, especially financial or social difficulties of the users, and sometimes reduced access to technologies. combined with technological illiteracy, or even reluctancy to new technologies, or let's say lack of the education for digitalization. And here we speak not only about the user, but also about the staff that need to use and to promote these digital tools, and sometimes they don't have the proper education for this. Talking about stakeholders, as we presented in the morning, we really count on our local universities. I think it's the main stakeholder in such projects, but together with the local NGOs and communities, because sometimes the citizens are not really organized as an NGO, but as a group of people. So it's very important to have the universities and the knowledge in one side, but also the citizen and the NGOs together. Of course, IT companies, you saw here in the palace some examples of involvement of local companies, IT companies coming to the museum to offer their expertise and their knowledge. And of course, the public authorities need to be like a link between all of these stakeholders, and to encourage the public consultation in all their decisions. Talking about youth communities and risk, we thought that opportunities are, when we spoke about opportunities for engaging communities and young people, we think that development of creative sector, it's an important opportunity. Accessibility of tools, nowadays most of the tools are quite accessible, especially for youth. We also mentioned the responsibility of communities, the connection of the communities with the heritage through digital tools, the use of digital tools to promote economic growth, and also the use of digital tools to build social cohesion. When we speak about risk, the risk is polarization of society, because you have, in one hand, people very, feeling very well with the new technologies, and in another hand, the another part, the people reluctant to the new technologies, and sometimes that can create this polarization. Another risk, we think, it's the lack of constant funding for digitalization or for digital tools. The fast pace of technological innovation, sometimes we can't cope with this so fast development, and we are somehow overpassed. Also the overuse of technological means sometimes can bring to less human involvement. So we became very dedicated to the technologies, and we forget to get more people involved and to use more on the creativity of people. And also, we think a huge risk is the disparities between the stakeholders. We have sometimes IT technologies with high knowledge and high development, and sometimes public authorities or some museums cannot be in the same level of knowledge and development and so on. So sometimes the gaps between stakeholders can be a risk for good engagement of digital tools. Talking about strategies, well, here it was a real debate, but we said that closer interaction between stakeholders could be an important approach. Having communication session on the topics with all kind of different stakeholders can be also a point in our strategy. More citizen involvement, and when we say citizen, we mean also communities, NGOs, and so on. A beautiful idea was hubs and spoke approach. I think Lucian can develop more about this. And also this gamification solution that can attract more people in this area. Well, we worked a little bit on opportunities and risk for youth and communities, but I don't know if these are the best ideas. We still need to clarify all this. And when we talk about open discussion, here we are looking for the other's idea and then to exchange a little bit among us. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. So someone else? Pavia? Okay.
Okay. So I will be short. We had a discussion with the colleagues and the stakeholder from Pavia, and so we use this time, and it is always useful for us because we are from different departments, and this is an occasion to speak together and to focus on this subject. And we have reflected on the role of institutions in bringing culture closer to people and on how digitization can facilitate the management of this role. So our discussion was focused on how we can, on the engagement of community and young people, and we have identified the two levels of interest. So the use of digitization of cultural heritage to reach segments of population who are less experienced and often excluded. So digitization in terms of cultural inclusion and to make cultural heritage more appealing, and so yes, to make it closer to people, to all people. And the second level is the use of digitization in the management of cultural heritage for the recovery of memory and identity, enabling the community and above all young people to become heirs and custodians, and therefore to foster a sense of responsibility. The risk, we didn't go deeply on the risk, but above all is the superficial consumption that is typical of our times, of this period of time. And but the most risk we see connected to the spot initiative. So this is a risk. If we don't have enough fund to keep on this path, it makes it difficult to reach our objectives. So the strategies is a strong oversight and management, and a continuous professional development, and the availability of funding, for example, on a regional level. We was discussing with our, we have our policy authority here, the Lombardia region, so we discussed also with the representative about the need of fundings, continuous fundings to keep these strategies. And so the integration of of digitization of cultural heritage into cultural policies to build and consolidate a sustainable system. This is what we talk about. Yes.
Thank you so much. So I see here Coimbra.
We are focused on the role of the municipal museums and the way we can use the digitization. We chose as an assigned principle the emerging practices to democratize heritage access and social impact. So what does this mean regarding Coimbra? In our city, This principle is fundamental to make our content more accessible to everyone. This is one of our major concerns. Digitization provides us the tools to interpret the scientific knowledge we have into a more intuitive language. Regarding the concrete actions and policies that we can implement to support it, we have been doing these concrete actions that in our case are related to the proximity with the university and academic research that provide us the content and the research that we can adapt that this knowledge, this research in creative and dynamic digital tools to engage with the wider public that comes to our museums. Regarding the obstacles, the budgetary aspects are, of course, in place. They are always a concern to us as a potential obstacle. Also because it's not only the initial funding that we need, but also we need to secure the funds to update the digital content and the equipment, I mean to do the maintenance of everything. So, of course, this is always a concern for us that we manage the funds in our museum. Also, regarding which stakeholders should be involved. For us, the University of Coimbra, as you know, we work closely with them, with the professors, with the researchers, also the companies that we search even more, every day more, because we want to know what services, what tools they can present to us. So the companies also to possible funding of these tools. This is important, and other cultural institutions that are very active in our city, and we aim to involve as stakeholders. Regarding can I continue to the other? So, engaging through digital tools, what opportunities do we see to engage with communities and young people? We see the opportunity of engaging with communities and young people through schools. It's one of our more frequently used partners. Schools, secondary schools, primary schools, different level schools. We want to invest in digital equipment to have our content available to teachers, for teachers. Maybe they can also align the contents of the academic studies that they demand to the students in class. So the contents that are given by the teachers in classes, we want to align them with the contents that we provide in the museums. So Elizabeth was telling me that we reach the communities, we reach the schools, the school communities, the coordinators, the teachers, before the academic year begins, and we give them the possibility to visit our museums, and we want to give them access to the contents we have in the museums so that they can align the contents they give in classes to the ones we provide, so that they can come and reach us searching for this information, and we can, as a city museum, display this information to these schools, to these coordinators. What risks or challenges do we recognize? The risks is the lack of conscience of the materiality of the heritage and art. So this concerns us. The risk that they miss, the students, the community, the people that visit us, they lose the lack of conscience, what it means, the materiality of the art. So everything is now an image, right? Not an object, not something that they can really feel. And this is something that concerns us. What strategies could we use to overcome these risks? We want to enhance the benefits, and for that we have to implement a mixture of digital contents that give the interpretation and the chance to contact with the materiality of the art and heritage. This means that the person, that the visitors, being an elderly, a children, a teenager, whatever, they have to fill the spaces. We cannot let them to be only, transported to a digital world and to lose the conscience of the importance of reality, to contact and use all the senses we have to engage with the heart and the content we have in the museum. So this is, the museum and Elizabeth, and they are historians of art. They know a lot about this, the importance of the history of our city in Europe, the university, what it meant to be the first capital of Portugal. We have a huge past, and we want to transmit that in a complete way. Not only by images, which are fantastic, as we know. We are all, fans, and we want to implement more digital tools, but we may not allow ourselves as historians of arts, as, cultural managers, as politicians, or, all of us in our different roles, we cannot allow everyone to lose this sense of reality, of enjoying, as we are here enjoying, this wonderful palace of culture, and we cannot miss this. So a mixture of both would be desirable. And regarding the last one, which principle do we consider a priority? Well, we love all of them, so all of them are important to us, but if we have to choose, we chose the participatory enhancement through digital technologies. We want participation, we want visitors, we want them to come, to meet us, to talk with us, to relate with us, of course, through digital technologies, but for everything else they want to speak with us and to connect with the art and the knowledge we have available for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. So together with my team, we decided to comment about the principle called accessibility and inclusivity of the digital resources produced. At first, what does this principle mean in our context, I mean in the city of Iași? The development of the tourism, the digitalization of the cultural heritage in our museums, a better promotion of the city, attracting younger generations towards city's heritage and making the museum visiting more engaging. Which concrete actions or policies could support it? Creating a bigger budget for supporting the program with substantial financial resources, creating commercials to promote the cultural heritage, partnerships between cultural institutions, I mean museums and educational institutions like schools and college. Which obstacle might emerge? Less interest in history and for promoting the heritage, the lack of education about heritage in schools, lack of awareness for cultural heritage towards schools, financial problems, and the cultural heritage is less valued by the society. And about the stakeholders that should be involved, at first it could be all of us, then private companies, the university, more evolving from the county councils and from the Ministry of Culture, and extracurricular activities regarding the cultural heritage. Then about the engaging through digital tools, the opportunities that we saw for engaging communities and young people are more interest from students in presenting initiatives, creating job opportunities, initiative for reconditioning the buildings, raising the amount of tourists, contribution by the younger generations, and building bridges between old and modern ideas. The risks that challenged that we recognized were at first the financial investitions that may not bring the expected outcomes. It may not appeal to younger generations, disengaging, and some cultural heritage might be left behind the digitalization process. And of course, we had opposition for some institutions. And the strategies that could maximize benefits and reduce risk can be creating a strong bond between the commercials and networking. And talking about digitalization as a tool in policy instruments, it's useful to integrate digitalization into policy instruments because it can create aligning with the current tendencies, better promotion of the younger generation and for the international recognition. Visual language is universal and also an immersive experience. And what concrete opportunities do we see in the contest? Well, more projects for school and international networking. And also more AI using can also be important in, as a tool in policy instruments. The main risk that we are fear from is the fact that some people with, how can I say, with bad initiatives can have access to the internet or might, can I say, might go the museum like into danger. I mean, it might can create dangers through the museums. And also another political risk is that maybe some of the government can't support the action of the policy instruments. And the last thing about our discussion is the fact that as a key sentence representing the discussion, we also found the fact that the digital resources can offer accessibility and inclusivity towards us, and also they are very helpful for the younger generation to promote and protect the cultural heritage. And also the principle that we consider as a priority is that participatory enhancement through digital technologies is also very important, and it can bring benefits to all the people and also to protect the cultural heritage and to respect it. Thank you.
Someone else? So I think it's, yeah, missing the last two, Liv and, okay, please.
So, a final principle that we wrote is creation that data platform of culture and historical heritage of Ukraine. What does this principle mean in our context of our city, Lviv? To preserve our monuments, historical and cultural sites and objects, and digitalize it in one big unique source, online data, to prevent the damage because of the Russian attacks during the wartime. Which concrete actions, policies could support it? European experience, European partners, training and studies, visits in this sphere in European cities which have something similar, so they can give us an advice about this, which obstacles might emerge. First of all, it's frontline changes, so we cannot expect that. Also, lack of the time, because we couldn't predict when the next attack will be and where, so which actually historical objects can be destroyed. So we can lose some unique historical and cultural heritage objects before the data platform will be created. And also the budget, because the main part of city budget right now goes to support army, and which stakeholders should be involved? Art and historical experts, culture studies experts, European universities representatives, European experts in the field of restoration, and first of all, citizens, because this project, this platform is for them. So, of course, their opinion will be on the first places. And engaging through digital tools, what opportunities do we see for engaging communities and young people? The opportunity to them to be involved in unique project in history, in Ukrainian history during the wartime, to share their expertise and opinion in this field, to share creative ideas, how actually they want to see this data platform, and to learn something new in European experts. What risks or challenges do we recognize? Lack of people because of a big amount of young people and also experts actually left the country because of war. And also lack of information about the priority of this sphere in this heavy time. What strategies could maximize benefits and reduce risks? Perfect communication and marketing plan of the project to involve a big amount of people and also financial support. And digitalizations as a tool in the policy instruments. Why is it useful to integrate digitalization into policy instruments? Citizens' engagement to unique project, international cooperation, heritage to save time and resource, not to do it manually, and to stay transparent. What concrete opportunities do we see in this context? To save memory and to share it to the culture generation through the digitalization platform. What are the main risks? Lack of people, as I mentioned, lack of funding, dependence on technology and digital inclusion. And what are the key success factors to involve as many objects as possible? This database to save the memory of them and to share our expertise on international level. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Turku, in the end.
Two of us, maybe we can stand here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your very good talks before. I have a little confession to make. I think we weren't very good pupils because I fear we didn't understand the assignment. So we will be very short, don't you worry. And I think our assigned principle was digital and data strategy of Turku city.
And then, well, the museum information portal that I talked about earlier kind of falls under that umbrella. And in that, our important aim is to promote the preservation of built heritage, including modern buildings, which promotes sustainability, and digitalization and open data enables the broader public to access information more easily.
Yes, and here are our concrete actions, providing open data where it is possible. It's not always possible. Educating the public, city organization has very good tools for that. Schools, library, our museums, and so on. And of course, user-friendly design and applications.
And then obstacles related to those are, for example, that the data is not available in many languages, so it can't quite reach all the audiences. The tools are not always easy to find or use. And the fast pace of the technological development makes it more difficult for everyone to understand the available tools. And then the lack of resources also impacts the people's ability to find the available materials. So funding and education is needed.
And then, why is it useful to integrate digitalization into policy instruments? In our case, the digitalization is at the core of our policy instrument, which is the digital and data strategy. And what concrete opportunities do you see in your context? Well, one is saving work time and resources, of course, because it goes through the whole city organization.
And then, well, the main risk that we were able to think was the unsuccessful implementation of the strategy. And to encounter that, the key success factors would be that all levels of organizations are committed to the digital strategy and have sufficient resources for the education on that.
Yes, and our priority principles are P1, accuracy and transparency of digital data used in decision-making processes. That's very important one for a city organization. And also P2, accessibility and inclusivity of the digital resources produced. Thank you.
There's nothing bad. And last, Poitiers.
Hi everyone. So I will speak for Poitiers, and we did not have the time to fill all the answers. So, and I will sum up because all of the things we wrote have already been said. So for this session on digitalization as a lever for sustainability and inclusion, the assigned principle we focused on, very original, is accessibility for all. What does this principle mean in our context, in Poitiers? It's really one of the keywords of our cultural municipal policy, and for all means to have a special focus on all socio-professional categories, all neighborhoods, all ages, and having a special attention to social diversity, what we call in French, mixité sociale. Poitiers pays also a very, very, very special attention to priority neighborhoods. I don't know if it's understandable in English. Priority neighborhoods. It's the neighborhoods in which special financial means are put because the social conditions and so on are worse than in other parts. Which concrete actions, policies could support it? We picked two because there are a lot, obviously. We think that we can achieve this by doing co-conception and co-construction. Co-conception means involving audiences, schools, but not only universities, from children to students, social-cultural structures, medical institutions, associations, etc. And by doing co-construction with the same actors, obviously, but also in involving actors from the territory, using their knowledge and their know-how. So obviously the university, but also the artists, the craftsmen, etc. Which obstacles might emerge? So we did not classify them, so it's a bit of a mess, but I'm sure you will follow. So there is the digital gap, because not everyone has a smartphone or can understand easily digital tools. The psychological barrier to enter a cultural topic or space. The geographical barrier. The price. And more like for the people who make the tools, the lack of technical support from the IT colleagues, because in Poitiers we do a lot of things by ourselves before putting financial means in it and developing main tools. But we meet a lack of technical support from the IT colleagues, the obsolescence of tools, because sometimes we have the means to launch a tool, but not to assure the maintenance of it, and the updates and so on. And the lack of in-depth thinking about what tool or content should be produced or proposed. Which stakeholders should be involved? I've already answered to that question earlier. Then for the session 2, regarding the opportunities and the risks in involving with youth and communities, I will not list them all, but first we pointed out that within the term youth there are a lot of things, so which youth and of whom are we talking about? The opportunities of engaging with youth are very numerous. They are the citizens of tomorrow. It permits us to have suitable content. It permits us to do co-construction and to open new perspectives to youth, to young people. Regarding the opportunities for engaging with communities, we saw the opportunities of having suitable, just and adequate content to involve communities and their irrepressible knowledge in the creation of cultural context to make the communities become the main actor of their heritage. It's the basis of the cultural rights principles. Regarding the risks, we identified more or less the same risks for both categories, which are the psychological barrier, which is more of an obstacle than a risk, and also the lack of methodology. How do we do it? Okay. And then and finally, regarding digitalization as a tool in policy instruments, we only answered to the last 2 questions. So the main risks we fear is to think that digitalization is the key to everything. We need to have a rationalized use of digital tools in terms of relevancy of the project, of sustainable development, and of public money also, because we do things with public money. And also the digital gap, always. And for us, the key success factors are to have in mind that the digitalization must be at the service of an in-depth thought project, relevant for users and the territory, and to place the human people at the heart of the project. And finally, to have in mind that digitalization is not an end or an isolated topic, and that it must always be included in a wider ecosystem that includes other levels of accessibility.
So, really thanks to everybody. I see that are almost 5 p.m., so we are sharp on time. To be honest, I am really impressed of the huge amount of idea and content that have been generated. I think that we will have a lot of thinking about. It is impossible to make a synthesis of this synthesis, but if I have to choose some of the words that either recurred more often or impressed in terms of relevance to be analyzed, there is participation that has been declined in several different ways, and of course that is strictly referred to accessibility and integration of skill and competencies. There is education, so the strength focus of ICT instruments in the wider perspective of education in terms both of targets, young people, students, children, and also actors that can be involved, school and university, but also I integrate in the topic of education also one of the risks that many have underlined, that is the digital gap, so something that requires to be filled somehow with new typology of education. As regards the fears, I see that everybody is, there is a topic related to funding, so financial resources, and not just to start the project, but also to maintain it, which is really crucial when we speak about website, GIS, information and platform, because there's nothing worse than a website that is obsolete due to lack of money. I think this is definitely not just a bad service, but also a bad presentation for the municipality that developed it. And I wish to conclude with one word that to me personally is really relevant and has been taken into consideration in several of this presentation, that is identity and memory. I think that this is crucial. Of course, we have listened both this morning and right now that it is crucial when we are engaged in saving physical memories from destruction. But I think that it is crucial also outside this dramatic context, because we do not have to underestimate the power of obsolescence of knowledge. I think that many of the citizens of our cities, I think all of our cities, do not know history of the city in which they live, the relevance of the monuments, and this is something that is a danger. Because the lack of memory can be an open door to populism, to many other points that may affect society way beyond cultural heritage. So I think that there is a huge amount of positive work in this afternoon. I really wish to thank you for your availability to submit yourself to this experiment. Personally speaking, I think it will be really useful for the next steps. And it's 5 p.m. sharp, so I will close this session and give the speak. Yes, I just ask to everybody if you can give us back the paper so we can collect, scan, preserve from their memory and then share with you after some work.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Morandotti. Thank you, everyone. It was a long day with a lot of information, with a lot of hard work from everyone present here. I am really impressed about what we can do together and about all the contribution you had today. Amazing presentation in the morning, amazing work shared together this afternoon. I think it was a real important step we made in our project, and I'm really looking forward for our next evolution in this project. And once again, I want to thank you all for your contribution and for your presence here. I really hope you have a wonderful time here in Iași. You are all expected at 7 p.m. at the municipality for a small reception with the mayor and with some other members of the staff. And I really hope you have time to enjoy also Iași and the beautiful weather. And thank you for this wonderful day. It was amazing. Thank you, everyone. Just one small announcement. We will see each other in the evening, but tomorrow morning, due to the fact that the university is a little bit far away from the hotels you are,